Trauma-informed services or service systems. We're seeing more language referring to it as services or systems in care, and that's a bit of a shift that's happening in the field. But the bottom line is it's about the theory and practice. What it will not cover in any detail is the types of therapeutic interventions that are known to be effective to treat people who have experienced trauma. I'll mention some treatment approaches, but we're really going to stick to learning about what a trauma-informed service system is, and maybe a little bit about what being a trauma-informed individual working with people is. But this presentation is really not about the provision of therapy. You can be trauma-informed as an individual, but primarily in the literature, it's more of a macro approach. It's an approach that really works across all systems to bring new theory, new evidence to our understanding of the experience of the people that we work with. Second, for the most part, in the presentation, I'm going to refer quite a bit to trauma in young children to illustrate the concepts in the theory. Just the same, the theory is not necessarily about any specific population of children or adults. It's more about how we view the lives and experiences of all human beings that we work with, and our own lives, because trauma is prevalent in our society, so we'll talk a little bit about that. Lastly, the presentation is really about changing beliefs about the people that we serve in our work, and it's about a shifting paradigm in the field that's really based on some research and developments in the field that have really only begun to take hold in the last 15 to 20 years. Some people in the field are calling it cutting edge, but it's been percolating for years, certainly in the United States. It's finally coming to Canada. We're seeing some literature coming out of the UK and Australia. And obviously, we believe here at the Crime Prevention Council and at KidsLink and in Waterloo that its time has come, that's for sure. So I hope what you take from this presentation is new knowledge about the prevalence of trauma in our society, how trauma affects brain development and later functioning, and that's coming out of the new science on neuroplasticity. I'm not a scientist or a medical practitioner, and neither are any of you, but it's very important that you understand this concept as well when you consider the effects of trauma. Trauma affects all of our health, and most especially, I hope what you take away from this presentation is a beginning understanding of what it means to promote and to create a trauma-informed system of care for the individuals that we work with. We've got people joining us on the phone. That's what you're hearing in the background. Most especially, what I hope is that you take from this an ability to speak to others about the importance of trauma-informed care, essentially that the approach has a promise to really improving the services that we offer to the people that we work with, so that people can really survive and thrive no matter what sector you work in. So let's go over very quickly the agenda. We're going to define, first of all, I'd like to give you a bit of background on KidsLink's project on the knowledge exchange piece of trauma-informed care, the kind of activities that we've been doing. We'll define trauma. We'll certainly take a look at the research. I call it the speed round. There is, extensive research into trauma, and we certainly can't go over all of it in 50 minutes, but we'll go through the speed round. We'll talk specifically about the difference between trauma-informed care and trauma-specific work. That's really important to understand in terms of the theory of trauma-informed care. We'll talk a little more about the characteristics, the science of trauma-informed services. And then if there's time, I'd like to tell you about what's happening in North America, because I think that it helps us understand the sort of wave of work that's happening in this area. There's some questions I'd really like you to consider. How might a system of trauma-informed services improve the lives of the people that we work with, and in fact, perhaps improve the health of all of us? And how might this approach have an effect on prevention, early intervention, effective treatment or intervention, and for those in the crime prevention world, rehabilitation versus incarceration, and so on. So really think about how this can affect your work and our system.